Reaching out to all the massive on the African continent. And you're tuning to the Pan-African Bliss Show. With your host, none other than Joby, from Monday to Friday. Stay tuned. Andrew Robinson, love, respect, and justice.
Big shout out to Vince in the book, by the way. Approach me with caution, cause on a snap, I'm bringing Hershey's on the scene. Tell me, who wanna do a fucking versus with a me? No, listen, it's clear the kind of challenge with the team. Chemistry, effervescence, I'm like potassium with the steam. I'm popping, supreme, Gaddafi, I'm Mussolini. What you got tonight, you went by, I'm not the God, you redeem. Like Kobe, above the rim, Green Reaper, rip off your skin, keep you clean, messy, resin, and mark out the marking skin. I'm on some classics, body bags, caskets, finding ninja down with 3G people who wear trick. To London, not your miss, yes, Teflon, you in Manchester, niggas call me Desmond. Yo, your life is only strong as the people around you. And once you get the problems, I'm a faker around you. And when it comes to rap Kenya, we bringing the sound. Woo! Yo, my nigga Kali, fans are lucky they found you. Sunny packet, so I think I should be serious, slicky. Do my packet, but if I've been keep on the checking. Then we ratchet, and I'm from Mombisa, Mwananzeki, longevity perfect. Me a big Gimbona, Roseki. Oh, yeah, I press. So I begin to apply pressure. And then I get scooting in running on a cash. Well, I pressure. Nafanya vijana na scrap seska. Same time, bitch, bwana, bitch, dotani ya shine, yes. I'm on a high note, cause it's about the time, yo. Pussy niggas get the 5 fingers like a gyno. Some fever by the time and disconnect your spinal. You capping at you Richie, but you figured that you lying on. But not to top for a minute, that's such an easy plan. You local rapper style is updated just like a TV stand. But why should I blame you? I blame your cheesy fans. Apologies, hope they don't cancel me like the Yeezy brand. Fuck you and your beat maker. Manager be a tomboy. Carry on there, I bring paper. Boko klaka jinyonge. Content I toshi. To nonsense I kosi. Wakino make you a bossy. Wanataka kumpeka psychosis. It was all a dream. But I get no sleep. In the goddamn streets. It was all too deep. Drugs. Vanity mama ma prayed for me. Kasema sifuate upepo. Nilipani kai lonely. Sijai panic. Shit serious, it is funny. The brand is elevating. We change the dynamics. The fans like it. Open the Mickey applying magic. Leonardo flow. Let us see the Titanic. No cap, this is another degree. Nitolewa class 1, nikarukishwa class 3. Now I'm a rapper, Kidato only repeat. Was there no opportunities for niggas like me when I'm from? Tell them what's happening. You niggas is fighting me. When you're making house, you're looking for practice on the traffic. And I gotta flip this shit. I gotta keep this shit. Stories are kickies. Yeah, I'm gonna lie and stick it. You wanna roll with me? To keep me rich. I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna keep this shit. I'm gonna keep this. Bro, you keep me, G. I'm gonna keep me now. I'm gonna keep me.
Yes, good morning and good afternoon to everyone listening to me via the radio station and everyone on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok page. Karibuni sana to another beautiful episode of the Pan-African Bliss Show. And of course, I'm your host, Joby, and it is exactly 14 minutes past 12 p.m. right here in the 254. I don't know the time on your end, but I hope you've had an amazing, fantastic day, a fantastic night for those who are getting ready to go to work. And of course, I've taken their time to tune in right here. Karibuni sana once again, and I hope you guys are looking forward to stick towards the end of the conversation of today. A quick shout out to everyone who was with us on yesterday's show. Super amazing, a large audience. We appreciate you. And for those who keep on coming back and catching up with our shows, I appreciate you so much. I began with that amazing jam. That is Caterpillar featuring Carly Graf Jones. And of course, it shall be performing tomorrow at Fanisi Mziki. So in case you are one of the people we shall be meeting, Hapo, I hope to see you. And of course, we hope to have an amazing time tomorrow. That is why we shall be having Caterpillar performing, and I hope to literally see an amazing performance. Kata, come on, Askia. I hope to see an amazing performance. But yes, Karibuni sana. Today we shall be talking about a few things happening, of course, in the continent of Africa, and I'll be talking usually for the last two. So this is the second week. I've been talking about the western parts of Africa a lot, and of course, this is something I mentioned a little bit of it before Keith invaded our show, whatever he was doing yesterday. And we were highlighting about Burkina Faso becoming the second African country which has actually included malaria immunization. And we've seen the massive the massive moves that the three Western African nations have been taking, and one of them is actually first trying to cut ties that they have been having with the foreign powers. But this, I feel like, actually is something that they might have to wait and hold on until they find a way how they can come up with and fund their own means and ways of producing medication, if I'm literally saying it correctly, because so far we can see they're coming up with the mining sites, mining companies, trying to create their own currency and all that. It's been positive changes and reports that have been coming from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. But this is a red flag, because so far we had Cameroon as the first African country, and now Burkina Faso is the second one. I mean, how many more do we have, and which among the 54 will say no? Do we really need this immunization of malaria, VACCINE, coming from the WHO? Or do we need, like I was saying yesterday, where we need to fund our traditional healers who actually still have means and ways, if only we can tap into them, and find a way how we can come up with our own medications that can help us as African people. That is my debate for today. I'll also be talking about the broken system. Today, again, I come up with an article of a broken system, and this is coming from the 254, because last time I actually reported the same from the 254, where we saw about the services being very, very poor, and this actually comes hand in hand with the same situation. There's been massive application of identification cards, that is the IDs, massive applications of passports. We've been seeing people making videos of how there's so much delay of passports procedure, passports kutolewa and everything, and even visas. We've been having issues of visas for the longest time. I've not seen any actually information about the visas. The last time I checked, citizens were asking for their money to be refunded back, because we had, I think, the US government or the US embassy, something like that, there was some issue going on. But literally with this broken system, this article of the day, it talks about the identification cards. We've seen there's a new rule. I discussed this last week, where identification cards we shall have to be renewing them, and which actually will have a chip. Remember, they did speak about brain chipping babies, and now we can see them talking about us having microchips on our identification cards. This is something very, very serious, and as Africans, not Kenyans, we need to be cautious about what our Kenyan government or our African leaders are literally taking steps to, and which, how is it beneficial to us, and how is it effective to us? I believe that we should be highly enlightened and noted on this. We shall also talk about Somali a little bit. I'll be sharing a video of the Somali president inviting back Italians to Somali. And when I say back, I believe this is actually coming from a historical fact, where they were once here and of course they left, and now is inviting them back. But if you look at the situation in Somali, Ethiopia, mind you, we did have Italy-Africa summit, and this is coming from here. This is where we had the debates going on, and we saw Ethiopia having their aircraft being returned, which is something we should understand and question why, after so long, that is being returned right now. So I'll share that and much more. And of course, karibuni sana. Hope you guys get to stay tuned till the end of the show. And of course, I'll be coming back with the quote of the day. With the quote of the day, so in case you have something which is very positive and you'd like us to, share right here with the rest of the family, kindly ensure you do. The next jam I'll be playing is of A Child the Messenger, and I hope you guys get to enjoy this. This is Game Time 1, and this is one among my favorite of his, then Game Time 2, and then we have another jam he shall be releasing, I hope towards the end of this week. I hope I'm correct. Towards the end of this week, we have a jam, HR and myself featured over there. So I hope you guys get to enjoy this. And of course, karibuni sana to today's conversation.
I don't know what the shit difference between me and this little niggas, man. The messenger. Yo. Yeah. This stuff that you don't do when I get involved. What's not what the Bible messenger and I nearly call. I don't be funny, but you niggas know funny. What you want, man? Duro on them, Stana. Body looking like a temple, there's a big swanna. She made the whole thing before deal, baby, wanna. Stop me, then she swallow. What I said, she follow, yeah. That's my baby, let's be like the supermodel, prison on you. Don't want to go on a mango, but they don't mean nothing, baby. You know you're my ooh la la. But they don't worry, you don't mean looking for the people for my lady. Yeah, they look, it's not baby, right? Cognac, you can go mix that shit up with the drugs, right? We not the same, little nigga. I'm big homie with the stripes. Do this shit for real, you just do it for the likes. Got nothing to prove, they see me, they say you nice. Put me on the song, go down the night. Bitch, I'm getting dead, you see me there. Might be walking with a little bit, that's just about it, now she walking with it. Oh yeah, she fuck with me, got the lady.
Yes, so my quote of the day is, I'm wishing you a fantastic Tuesday morning full of energy, enthusiasm, and the motivation to tackle the challenges or any challenges that come on your way. That is my quote of the day. It's a chill Tuesday for me. I feel that chilly Tuesday. You know, I always say Tuesdays are chilled for me. I give every day a character of its own, and I always find Tuesdays very chilled. Lately, they've been really very, very active. But I feel very chill today, but I hope you guys get to dive in the conversation of the day. But nonetheless, Karibuni sana, once again, I don't want to waste much of the time because time be rushing very, very quickly nowadays. And of course, I want to dive in straight to the conversation of the day. And starting with the 254, like I said, I want to talk about the issues of identification cards. But before that, I want to talk about a certain issue and which actually I believe should be highly debated on and is less debated on. And I believe right now, especially with the issues of taxation being imposed on every single thing, even I think even you breathe in right now, you're gonna start being taxed. You know, you're gonna start being taxed, or even you walking around and all that, because you can see them now making us pay for public roads. I mean, what is that? Is that how broke we are to this point? To the point I'm about to get to. So we have a school that has actually asked parents to pay 6.7 million Kenyan shillings, and this is after a dormitory fire that occurred. And I'm not certain of the year. I didn't read the whole article and all that. I did the research very quickly, and I want to read and take you guys through it, and as you see what this is all about. And should parents be the ones paying for this money, or should be the government be the one paying for this money? Because I believe we have the Ministry of Education, and which actually does get access of funds that are allocated for different things, including emergencies. And I don't understand where this money right now is not being used. Instead, parents have to go back to their pockets. Apart from school fees being very, very high right now, we have to go back to our pockets. I feel like a parent right now. So I'm going to say, yeah, I have to go back to my pockets. Can you imagine? I have to go back to my pocket. But anyway, they're saying that parents whose children study at Mariakani Boys Secondary School, I believe actually this is a school that I saw this week or during the weekend. It was on fire. And of course, parents of whose children study at Mariakani Boys, I think I know Mariakani, but I'm not sure where it is in Kilifi. Okay. There's a certain Mariakani, but anyway, yeah. Parents of whose children study at Mariakani Boys Secondary School in Kilifi County will have to pay 6.7 million Kenyan shillings to cater for losses after a fire gutted at 150-bed dormitory last Saturday. And the fire broke out at 9 p.m. while students were in the middle of an entertainment session, and that was on Sunday morning on learning institution. The learning institution was closed indefinitely following a meeting between Kaloleni Sub-County Education Officer, who goes by the name Josephine Lomata, and the principal of the school board of management. And the school has been closed indefinitely, and each student is expected to report back with 5,000 Kenyan shillings. We're talking about, let's say, $35 over there, $30, sorry, $30 over there. And they're saying that this was an information given by the Deputy County Commissioner, who goes by the name Denise Barasa. And the school has a total number of students, which is 1,340 students. Now calculate that amount of money. Let's see. Let's do some maths here. Very quickly. Let's do some 5,000 times 1,040. 6 million. So yeah, that adds up to 6.7 million. God damn. That is a lot of money. But of course, let's go through the article because we don't know the cause of the fire and if the students are actually the ones involved in burning the dormitory, because this has actually been happening in so many years where we've had students burning down schools. But I never understand why, and it is always especially towards the end of the year. But it's just the beginning of the year, and there's a lot of crisis and situationships happening in the 254. They're saying that the efforts to reach the Kilifi County education. Now, let me read that again, just a minute. There was another fire at St. John's Girls Secondary School on Wednesday night. Miss Lotmata declined to comment on both incidents, saying she was not authorized to speak to the press. Efforts to reach the Kilifi County Education Director, Mrs. Veronica Kalungu, were unsuccessful as they neither answered calls nor responded to the text. And now you want literally parents to pay this money. Are you crazy? The people who are supposed to address this issue and try to figure out the main cause of the fire can barely even pick up their calls, can barely even speak to the press. Why are we trusting you with our children? That is number one. Why should I trust you with my kid? And this is why I said again, I don't know, man, but personally, if I'm given the opportunity to employ people, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me, and I swear you're gonna hate me. Because I'm not joking around with all this nonsense of picking people of just who don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. This is what I was talking about yesterday, where passion comes in. If you are given a certain job, and that's how I remember Africans, how they used to operate. And this is why, again, you go back to when we had PhDs making sense, degrees making sense, masters making sense, is because people had skills to be in the position they are at. But right now we're just having crookeds being picked and raggedy people just being picked because they have some certain connections, and now end up being what we can see right here. The efforts to reach the Kilifi County education, this is the whole county educational director who could not even pick calls. The parents at Mariakani Boys Secondary School complained that 5,000 was too punitive. You should not even pay a penny. That is according to me. If my child is not involved in the burning down of the dormitory, if the cause of the fire is not even identified, why the hell am I paying for this? While we have the Ministry of Education, especially the Kilifi County Director, who we know they are getting emergency funds for in case anything happens. So why won't you use these funds, and why ain't you picking calls? Those are answers we should be getting as parents. Not excuses, them coming up of asking and demanding $30, $35 from parents. How am I supposed to get that? How much is school fees, especially in Mariakani Boys? Let me check. I'm certain Google will not lack any information. How much is school fees at Mariakani Boys in Mombasa? Not Mariakari. How much is school fees at Mariakani Boys in Mombasa? You play with me. Hello, Keith. Karibu sana. Hope you're doing amazing today. Okay. Let's see. Let's see the fee structure. And then you tell me I have to pay 5,000 Kenyan shillings. For what? $35 for what? Mariakani secondary school fees. Okay, so I can't see the fee structure, and of course I won't find it right now because I'm checking in a rush. But I'm certain it's not less. I'm very certain it's not less. I'm very, very certain it's not a little amount of school fees that parents are paying here. They're saying that Kilifi County Assembly Speaker Teddy Mwaribe, an alumnus of the school, said former students had suggested that the cause of the incident to be established first. I mean, these are students actually talking. Students had suggested Students had suggested that the cause of the fire, because you can't just go. I come from a very poor background. I know the situation at my mom and dad's house. I know these people are trying to make maybe $5 a day to make a living, to pay bills, to buy food for the rest of my siblings, to ensure my school fees is paid, and I'm in a boarding school. Now you want to come and tell me that I should just go home because you've closed the school indefinitely because of a known cause of fire, and I have to come back to school with 5,000 Kenyan shillings, $35. For what? I'm not part of causing the fire. Why won't you find out the issue first? They're saying if it is an electrical fault, we have emergency fund at the constituency office. If the school is asking parents to pay 5,000 Kenyan shillings, it means they know the cause of the fire, and which is very true. Because why wouldn't you see the Kilifi director of education picking up calls? And this has been happening, and I'd love to know if I can gather maybe information from majority of the cases of schools that have literally faced such kind of an incident. The last one I can remember, which was so scandalous, and because I followed it up because I really wanted to go to that school, Buruburu Girls. The last time I checked, I can't remember the cause of the fire, but I don't remember parents being asked to pay for the money. The only students who were included in starting the fire are the ones who come back with the funds, because you're messing up the school. Why would you burn down a school? That is wrong, and there's consequences to every actions you take. So on that angle, if maybe my child is included in this, I believe it is very okay for parents to remove some funds or to give funds to pay back for whatever their children did, damaging the school's utilities and all that. So it is super, super crazy, and this guy is very correct. Teddy, the Kilifi County's Assembly Speaker, is very, very correct for saying that if it is an electrical fault, we have emergency funds. We have emergency funds in every county. Every director, every ministry of, not the Ministry of Education, but every director in every country, educational director of every county, they are given money for emergency. So where is this money? Why won't they pick up calls when we have students burning in a dormitory? And then you want to come tell us, you as parents, you need to pay back this. What? You sound crazy. These are the level of corruption. It has gotten so bad to schools. It is okay, we used to see it, which is next I'm about to discuss, in these Uduma centers, because we know majority of these people who are working in these public offices are poorly paid. They're not well paid. We see demonstrations left, right, and center every single day. Teachers striking, nurses striking. The Kanjos, I've never seen Kanjos strike though. I've never seen the city council strike though. I've never, because those people take a lot of money. I've never seen the city council strike. But we know it used to be in these public services, offices, like the Uduma Center, where you go pick up your passports, your IDs, your visas. That's where you give the bribe money. But this to school, this is crazy. And Africans, you need to wake up, because I'm certain this is happening in every African country. Understanding that this is a system set up the same way. It is up to you as parents. And you can see actually revolution coming from students, children, your children, saying, you as a parent, you should not actually pay for this money without understanding the cause of the fire, which is very, very amazing. And shout out to the students for recognizing this, because there's no way. Personally, if this was my era, I can't go tell my dad I need 5,000 to go pay for school. Until the school was on fire, I'm going to be kicked out of there very quickly. What are you talking about? Are you part of causing the fire? No. Why am I paying the money? For no reason? No, I'm not paying. If they want to chase you away from school, let them do it. That is majority of the African parents' reaction. But it's sad to see, and it would be sad to see if parents are going to agree to this and pay this amount of money. What we should see is the educational director of Kilifi County being answerable to the incident that happened to this both school, that is St. John's Girls Secondary School and Mariakani Boys Secondary School. We need answers. If I were a parent, I'd literally push for answers. because I don't understand, why am I paying this amount of money? Why am I paying for it? But moving on still to Kenya, like I said, the issue of Huduma centers, the services have become very, very pathetic. And I discussed this, I think, last week, where I was reading about the services in hospitals being very pathetic. When you go to these public offices, like I'm just mentioning, you get poor services. You have to bribe someone. If you don't know anyone there, I'm sorry, but you can't get your ways in through very easily. You have to be very patient until your turn comes. You have to move like a common mwananchi. And a common mwananchi is the one who's very oppressed. That is a common mwananchi. But now we have a very another broken system article that came out about Kenya's inside Kenya's ID crisis. And of course, we've been seeing not only the identification card crisis being spoken out, but also the passport delayment actually being called out as well. Few weeks ago, I think almost that was last month, I did discuss on where we saw Kenya coming out with a new law of where they are actually saying that IDs shall actually start expiring, be renewing our IDs, and that this is them by, I think they're putting a chip on the identification card. We saw Ruto speaking about brain chipping children and all that nonsense. And I wonder if Africans at large, not just actually Kenyans, if they are aware of what is about to happen here. We're talking about total control. We're talking about literally total control of who you are, of your movement, of the information, what you talk about. And at this point, I think I'd fear a lot for bloggers, journalists like us, people who speak the truth. Because if you lose your identification card, then you go take the new one and it has those chips. I mean, I can't speak openly like this, can I? I'll be found. I'm going to be located where I am. You know? I will be located exactly where I am. But the insider history, or rather the insider discovery of the crisis going on with the identification card application, they're saying that applications for new identity cards have piled up to more than 600,000 in the past 2.5 months. In the past 2.5 months, with the numbers going up by 10,000 every single day. The ID crisis has stopped the police, National Intelligence Services, Kenya Defense Forces, and all other state institutes that employ new staff on a continuous basis from recruiting. And about 200,000 Kenyans apply for IDs per month, meaning that the number of pending applications could hit 1 million by end of the next month if legal impasse is not resolved. And of course it will not be resolved. That is what I'll tell you, my dear Kenyans. I'm sorry to discourage you, but we have a system that does not work. We have a system that does not work. And it's crazy to see we have this new law of IDs expiring, which is a question that was questioned. And I remember also Kamish asking this, and so many people asked this. You mean by 2034 I cease to exist as a Kenyan? I mean, what do you mean? By 2034, that is when my IDs expire. So I cease to exist as a Kenyan? Or I need to go keep on renewing more IDs, which requires more money? Because it will depend how in a hurry am I in need of the identification cards. Because most of the times for the replacement it takes 2 weeks, but you to see right now it's taking almost a month, and it takes normally 2 weeks, but now it's taking more than 2 weeks. This is crazy, and this is something that should be called out for. Because right now, if you talk about 10,000 people per day, we're talking about students who just actually finished high school. That was last year. Majority of them are taking identification cards, of course, to join probably different organizations, different jobs that require identification and all that. So having a system that is delaying all this kind of process is literally you being delayed. Excuse me. to try make a progress for your life. And we're talking about a system, they're going to delay like this, and it's not like you're going to be given a job opportunity. You're going to struggle and hustle so hard for it. Shout out to you, Dr. Karibu Sana. Hope you're doing amazing today. And of course, Karibu Sana. But that is what is happening in the 254. Basically, we're talking about a corrupt system in these both cases, where we can see the Huduma centers don't work correctly, and where we can see schools asking a lot of money, 6.7 million. That is a total number, because every student, I mean, the school is has a number of students which is 1,340. So if you calculate the amount, it adds up to 6.7 million. But the question comes in, where does the county director of education come in? Why is she not using the funds that are being allocated for these emergencies? Why do we need to go back to our pockets as parents to cover up a fire breakout that we don't even know the cause? You're so much supposed to be concerned about my children's safety, but you're so much concerned about how much can you get back in profit and pockets. Because I'm certain even this amount they're asking does not cover up all those dormitories that the fire did, damage and all that. But that is what is happening in the 254. And of course, you guys can let me know what are your thoughts regarding this particular matter. Now, moving forth, I said last week we had the Italy-Africa Summit. Karibuni sana to everyone also with us on YouTube, or rather with me on YouTube. We had the Africa-Italy Summit, and which we saw Giorgia Meloni saying that Africa does not need aid. Africa does not need charity. Africa needs cooperation. Cooperation that is not selfish, cooperation that is beneficial and is equal to African countries. Do I agree with this? Of course I do. But for how long has this been a debate of where African countries don't get equal favors like the foreign powers? It's been a debate for so long. But what has happened about this? Nothing has happened. We still see African leaders like William Ruto saying, I don't want to be summoned anymore, but he's standing behind the CEO and the chairman, the chairperson, however you want to call them, of the African Union. I don't want to be summoned anymore, but he's the number one ringleader of attending and presenting the East African community by attending this meeting. It sounds so crazy. Now, during this Italy-Africa Summit, we saw countries like Ethiopia, they got their first ever aircraft, which was taken away from them. That was in 1933, 1935, if I can remember the year correctly. But the question comes in. We know right now Ethiopia is, there's a lot of literally lack of, I'd say generally lack of peace within the country, and which has actually affected the rest of the countries like Djibouti and Ethiopia, leading to so many civilians, dying, being displaced. Of course, also hunger issues have been been a major crisis in these particular countries and all that. And there's no aid coming in as well. And if it comes in, it has to come with a beneficial of Kuchi. Yeah, you give me Kuchi, I give you food. That's what they have been doing, raping women, the UN peacekeepers. And Ethiopia called them out. And after some time, we saw the UN peacekeepers coming back. So it's crazy with these politicians. But yes, we had Ethiopia taking its first aircraft that they came up with in 1933, 1935. And I questioned, why do you think they did this? Because every time you see a selected African leader getting something that we've been asking and begging for so long, and now getting hold of it, there's something they have agreed to do, and to cover it up, they have to do something very major to make it look like it's historical, but it's not. If I'm getting this correctly, and if you are getting it correctly, the main reason why Ethiopia has gotten this aircraft, trust me, it's not in vain. There's something behind it. And this is just a cover-up to make us feel, we want to make important talks. And you can see part of the important talks is us getting the aircraft back and all that nonsense. but it doesn't make sense. Now, we have the Somali president, and I want to share this video very quickly. The video has been surfacing on TikTok, on YouTube, and all the platforms of those people who understand what is happening with these African coons. Him inviting back the Italians to Somali. Back to Somali. I underline the inviting them back. So we had these people once chased away from Somali, if that is what I'm trying to understand. I didn't get the whole history or get time to, do much research on this particular debate. But when they say inviting them back, it means that, let me see something very quickly. Okay. Somalia was colonized by Britain and Italy. All right, this makes sense. Damn, wait. Somalia was colonized by Britain and Italy. Can someone make me understand why we always have African countries like, which other country did I discover? It was, I think, Zimbabwe. I'm not sure. There's a country that also is colonized twice by these European powers. Somalia was colonized by Somalia was colonized by European powers in the 19th century. Britain and Italy established the colonies of British Somaliland and Italian Somaliland in 1884 and 1889, respectively. These two Somalilands eventually united and gained independence on July 1960. Damn, that's some history I didn't know. So this makes sense why they are coming back. And they're being invited back. But why? Let's share this.
Here is what is going viral in Africa. A viral video of Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud that's trending online claims that he is the first African president to invite back a former colonizer.
Oh, please. The first, all of them have been doing it. Actually, the first African president. What? This is a joke. What? These people have been inviting all sorts of crookeds in this continent. What? What do you mean? This is, I must repeat that. What?
Here is what is going viral in Africa.
Funny.
A viral video of Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud that's trending online claims that he is the first African president to invite back a former colonizer.
Please, Kenya just said King Charles is right now diagnosed with cancer in Kenya. I don't care if they come to stay or they come to visit. I don't give a damn. They still pop in here in the continent. That is what. So you know the first one? You know the first one, not the last one. You've been doing it all your lives. And you know even how you've been doing it? You've not even been inviting them. You've been taking yourselves to them. You don't need no invitation from you. It's crazy when these African coons act, especially like they have. I can't stand none of these African leaders anymore. And knowing that they have no power. No power. This is funny.
The clip shows him inviting
If I am to be found, I'd die laughing at these people.
back Italians during a recent event there. For the record, Italy once colonized parts of Somaliland. The clip is paired with images of just some of the things these Italian colonial masters did while in Somalia.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, what I want is that it's the Italian people. We want to go back. People-to-people relationship is there.
What relationships?
With Italy, there are a huge property owned by the Italian, not the Italian government only, but the Italian citizens, plantations. Of course, there were industries. The industries are not there anymore. They've been destroyed during the Civil War, but the property are there. The plantations, the land is still there. So there is a huge...
So you won't give your people land. You won't give your people no property. You won't allow your people to get their generational wealth that was stolen away from them. Because this takes me back again in places like Somali, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea. Again, I don't care. I consider these people the same people. The original people, the indigenous people. If you try to look at... how do I say, not the culture, but the relativeness of Ethiopians, Djibouti, Ethiopian, Somali, Eritreans, all of them is kind of the same. If I'm giving facts, and I believe that those are facts. Those are nothing but facts. So you won't give your people generational wealth. You won't give them their lands back. But you have the nerve. You know, it really is the nerve of you going outside. Your country is under poverty. You have nothing to showcase, to present. Nothing but just poor infrastructure and bloody lands. And then, this, I swear African leaders are crazy. I don't know if you guys find politics interesting as me, but I do. It's really, really sweet and funny at the same time. It's funny, it's interesting, because it takes you back to history. And it's funny. It's just funny. But yeah, shout out to this man. Shout out to this man over and over and over again.
Housing properties and a lot are there. The Italian government has also huge property in Somalia, and the Italian government has started rehabilitating those properties. Centro Cultura Italiano, the Casa d'Italia, and many, many others are there. We don't have a lot of Italians who, the Italians, they used to have a school there where their kids go, but we don't have. But we are dreaming that we will have that level of friendship will come back. So that's the bottom line of my message, and I thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Do you think the president was inviting Italians back to the country to take back the land they lost after independence? Or was this just a call to boost foreign investment?
There's no foreign there's no boost foreign investment anywhere, my friend. This is them coming to snatch back our lands. And Africans need to realize this before it is too late. Neocolonialism is in our faces. And I'm so sorry to say, but it's being practiced by your very most trusted leaders. The ones who give high props and, think they're doing amazing. They're the ones who are doing it. I mean, what a shame is this? What kind of a shame is this? Because this is a shame. A very, very big shame. And I want to see the comments, what people have to say. I really want to see what the people have and the comment people have to say. I see Keith is saying that most of those people that rule the country are the mulattoes that the Italians created. And I tend to agree with you highly on that. I agree with you highly on that. So high. They are coming here to steal the land. And it's crazy. Despite these selected coons being the ones, being mulattoes, being Africans, they're all the same. That's the funny part. So long as we have them as leaders, selected coon leaders, they all have the same characteristics, similarities. Nothing is different. We have Somalis. Let me see the population. What is the population of Somalis in Kenya? Uh-oh. Oh my God. What? I mean, did you know that? I didn't know that. Did you know we had 2,780,502? What? This is crazy. And then you're telling me I'm in Kenya, but you're inviting, you're supposed to be getting out of here. Let me tell you, if you are Somalian, and I'm talking about the true Somalians, I don't know whether you claim that as home. If you claim Somali as your homeland, and in these other countries, I'm not saying you should go away. We're not trying to be South Africa here. We're not trying to be South Africa here. Trust me. We accept and invite everyone. We don't even judge. We don't. But it's crazy. You settled in other countries where you have foreign people coming and being given lands, which is the main reason why you're not there, you know? Because what is it? Why do you have the displacement of African people? What is in the land and the land itself? This is just amazing. This is so amazing. Shout out to the Somali president. I wish him the best, and I can't wait to see the reaction. I hope Somalians are going to react to this, but understanding that these places, one, there's shortages of power all the time, shortages of internet's being always cut down so that they cannot spread information, and a lot that is always happening in Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. I don't know how we can be able to, or how these people can be saved, but apparently we can save them if only we understood the kind of powers with organizations we create and how we can use them. Like the East Africa community. Somali joined the East Africa community. That was last year towards the end of the year. But it's crazy because I questioned, do they understand where they are getting themselves into? Is this going to help? Because we know it's not going to help. Because if it was meant to help, we should not see this kind of speeches being made confidently to our enemies. Or we're inviting you back, we still have the lands, we still have what? We have nothing for you. We have nothing for you but war waiting for you. That is all I'd say. We have nothing for you. We have nothing to offer. So stop dreaming. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh my God. But I also see on the comments, I see, let me just going through the comments of this video. I want to read a few. One of them says that these people are actively working against the growth and development of the continent for the benefit of the indigenous people. That is true. They are working. They're very active to not ensure that the development and growth of the continent will not benefit the indigenous people. That is what it's meant. Because it won't. That is what they want. That is what they have been doing. That is what they have been pushing. And it is sad again to see it is being practiced by the people we trust to help us. You know how pathetic it seems? While you have the majority of the people waiting and hoping on you, but the rest of the world is laughing at you because they know this is never going to happen. The person you're waiting for is the one selling you out, giving us all your dreams and plans. So we use these dreams and plans to conquer you and your mindset. Crazy. One of them also says nothing new here. The Kenyan government recently rolled out the red carpet and gave the English King Charles, and I just mentioned that. Nothing new here. The Kenyan government recently rolled out the red carpet and gave the English King Charles III a 21-gun salute in Nairobi. This happened a mere 62 years after the British genocide in Kenya, when Charles was a teen, and this is only the latest visit by a former colonizer. They have been visiting Africa for years, since independence. Examples: all the English-speaking Africa is part of the Commonwealth, whose official head is now British King Charles III. I mean, where is the lie? You just spit nothing but the truth. I just mentioned that. They can't tell us that Somali president is the first African president to invite bullshit. You're inviting nonsense. Inviting poverty back in our continent. Telling us how important these people always are. You're inviting stinking can't beg type of people here, claiming how important they are to us. Man, I really feel so bad the majority of our people don't know this. Trust me, at some point. I feel so bad that some people are slow learners to understand what is happening. Slow pickers to get and connect the dots so easily. How did we get here? How did we get here? How didn't our parents see this kind of things? It doesn't make sense to me at some point at the same time. Why didn't you see all these things happening? How didn't you understand politics? miseducation, but some things is far from just you blaming miseducation. Some things you need to understand and connect the dots. You don't need to be told or taught anything. Being an African, we are smart people. Some things, again, you don't need to be taught or told. But I guess it depends with the level of vibration, because Africans' mindset now, it's really, really messed up. We are messed up, you know, we've been messed up. So it's still so crazy. And then the last one, I want to read the two last comments. We have one from Somali. It says, I am from Somali and can confirm that this man is nothing but one of the many unfortunate cases that Somali is experiencing for last decades. I mean, that is a Somalian speaking there, speaking the truth. You know, the most unfortunate cases that Somali is experiencing last decades, and you're yet to experience even much more. And the last one is a Nigerian who says, as a Nigerian, I cried when this man invited the Italians to come back to Mogadishu. I remember that three Nigerian battalions, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, chased the Italian out of Somali when they set the record for the first Blitzkrieg in World War II. And I am sure that they are turning in their graves who's cast us Africans like this. I mean, I know who's cast us like this, but we're not cast. Trust me. We used to assume this thing. I know majority of us have grown up with that issue of, I'm cast. Why is my life fucked up? You're not cast. You just need to wake up. Imagine. You need to wake up, tap into your power, because you have it. Africans, you have so much power that you know. We underestimate ourselves. Ukijua tu ile power uko na vitu unaweza fanya, au you can manipulate vitu zingine tu kwanza na akili yako. You have no idea. Just meditate and focus. Oh my God. And I'm glad to know all this information I have. I am glad to know all this information I have. But I see Kitty saying that is on purpose, exactly in the sense that, yes, they know he's a puppet. I mean, that is a Somalian over there, you know. That is a Somalian over there making all types of... I love the way actually Africans come out, like the South Africans calling Ramaphosa cupcake, you know. It's crazy to see all these African leaders have nicknames in their country. Zakayo, cupcake. I don't know about Museveni, but I wish Maria could have told us what is Museveni's, nickname over there. And Kagame. Kagame can even be given a nickname after silencing his people like that. I bet people cannot even make jokes with him. I bet. But I also see you saying that, yes, Joby, it's battalion, okay? Meaning the military. Okay, thank you. And I also see Monte. Karibu sana, you're saying play good life. This is not a musical show, my friend. Kindly come back tonight or come back tomorrow on the Vibe Show. Tonight on the Culture Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And of course, request all the jams you want. I'll do it for you. And I see Kit says exact 20% Joby. You're not cast, just ignorant. That is true. But apparently majority of us, we've grown up with that mentality of, because I also used to think the same. When things were not working so good for me, I used to think like, what if this happened? What if for real my dad did that casting and it really happened? What if? But I came, shout to again that friend who made me realize my power, and that's when I started doing a lot of spiritual practices, and look at me right now. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. But moving to the major focus of the day, also the Somalians. I wish you all the best. You're 2 million of you in Kenya. I don't know how many of you are left in the country, but let's see what's the population of Somalis before we go. What's the population of Somalians? Okay, thank you, Madam Google. Yeah, so that is the population, but that was in 2021. As today we speak, 2 million of them are missing in their country. They're in Kenya. It is funny. But anyway, I wish them all the best. And my fellow Africans, We just need to conquer and seek revolution so that we can be able to live accordingly. You can stop thinking you're cursed. That is all I'll say. Moving on to the major focus of the day. It was about Burkina Faso. And like I said, throughout the last week, this week, I've been talking a lot. Shout out to you, Deno. I've been talking a lot about the Western African countries after them withdrawing, of course, from ECOWAS. We saw Burkina Faso chasing away the European Union. A lot has been happening, positive transitions and all that. But what is not positive is what came out yesterday at night, where we can see Burkina Faso becoming the second African country to include malaria immunization. I know we are on YouTube. I'm going to use codes, and I just want to understand from my audience and us understanding democracy that is being installed here in these three countries. Is this a good move or is this a red flag? Because for me, I feel like it's a red flag, but I have a defense mechanism about it of the decision they're making, because I think we've debated of how it's going to take time for these African countries not to still be reliable in terms of medicational help, because we still do not have, we've not literally found ways of how we can be able to come up with curative medications that are helpful and favorable to us as African people. If I'm trying to make it simple and trying to make it make sense, if you're understanding, yeah? So understand Burkina Faso, if they are still reliant on the WHO, which is another fake organization that is not meant to work for anybody. But again, this should not be a long-term reliance. You should not be reliable to these people for so long, because this is going to give the UN, the AU, the EU, ECOWAS, another reason of coming back to the continent in the name of when you need help. Burkina Faso. So you need to be very, very careful, and I hope the people and the junta is aware of the decisions he's making. It's okay right now. And I understand it's going to take time before you build proper hospitals, before you tap into those, like I was saying yesterday, what I feel like the failure of the Namibian president and majority of the presidents they have done is not building proper hospitals, ensuring they're tapping into those I know they have traditional healers, and investing highly on their knowledge and starting using these, herbs and medicines and all that. So I hope they're careful, and I hope there's also proper checking being done of this VACCINE. We don't want to end up like Gambia, because remember, Gambia up to date, we still have parents, whose case is in India, after India bringing cough syrups that killed 72 children. Till to date, these parents have not found justice. All they wanted was justice. But what the Indian government and the Gambian government was trying to do is bribe these people with some amount of money, but they said, hell no. No money can return back any life. So I'm proud those kind of decisions being made, and I hope there's proper checking of what we are accepting as a continent. And I hope at the end of the day, as much as Burkina Faso is doing this, they have a backup plan on how they can withdraw from the WHO as well. But I see Keith, you are saying it's not a good move, but they don't have a real medical program, so they still believe in the European. I agree, but I believe these juntas are really well informed right now to know that also the WHO is not a good and a safe organization that has been operating back here in the continent. So as much as right now they don't have a medical program, I believe and trust that they might come up with a good one, because we can see through the unity of these three countries and the help of Russia, they're really, really coming up with very, very good transitions, which are helping and benefiting the people so far. Actually, the first mining site, the mining company that was supposed to be built in Burkina Faso, if I'm not wrong, has already employed 100 people. 100. That was during this weekend. So there's positive, amazing news coming from these countries, the three of them. And personally believe and highly believe they might have a backup plan, which might not take time before they come up with their own program of medical availability. And also see Kitty saying that yes, Joby, it's going to take time. I agree. And also saying that going back to Africa is going to take time, Joby. I mean, culturally, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And my closing remarks about it is, I know even the Africans, the traditional healers who still exist and maybe have a few history information of how the white supremacy fought so hard, their system, and breaking down the herbal medicines and all that, the medications we used to use before they brought the synthetic. I believe if we still have a community of such people who understand it, they're scared. But if ensured they're going to be protected and ensured that this is going to be used it's going to be used in a beneficial way for the people. This is not just going to be a monetary value thing. Because as African people, that's what we used to focus on. And that's what I'm saying in so many things I've discussed here, from our corruption as caught up with us even in school, is because we didn't just take roles because we wanted money. We used to take roles because, you want to do this role just to fulfill your heart desire, to make the one you're trying to fulfill it to proud. Like, it's literally just you living your truth. And I'm speaking about living your truth, not the other nonsense, living your truth in quote, I'm living your truth for real. Like, we used to help, not for monetary values. We used to help and offer services because we really meant to help. But when we had the white supremacy, the invasion of the white people, now we were left with this monetary value fund, and all this it's become crazy right now. And I also see Keith, you're saying that yes, Joby, they're still and they're still on the continent. I believe so, because if I can tap back to my in-laws in South Africa, yeah, I can see we still have amazing mother-in-laws there. So I'm gonna meet amazing ones there. They're really dope, and I love the fact they're so much tapped into spirituality and amazing things. But shout out to the Son of God and to everyone who has been with us on today's conversation. But I'm coming towards the end of my show today. It's been amazing, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope Kenyans, you understand whatever is happening with the replacement of the ID. We can see majority of you already taking the expiry. They're yet to expire IDs, but I hope you understand what is about to happen in the next years and the rest of the African countries. Because today it is Kenya, tomorrow Uganda is also bringing the same law, tomorrow is Tanzania, and the next minute is the whole continent is operating this way. So we have to actually call out these leaders, and we cannot just call them out, excuse me. All you need to do is be majority of us, as much as we know this information, organize on how we can form a revolution. That is my thought and quote of it. Shout out to William. Thank you so much for following the live creator. I appreciate you. And on the case of schools, again, I'd urge parents not to pay any amount of money. I believe every county and every director of education in every country have been funded emergency funds for this kind of incidents happening, school burning. So it's not up to you. You cannot pay school fees expensive, then end up also paying for damages that are happening in the school. If my kid especially is not involved, you sound crazy as catfish. Very crazy. And the last but not least also is about Somali and Burkina Faso. Well, to the two countries, I wish the Somalians all the best and Burkinabe people also all the best. But I hope the Burkinabe junta is on a proper check of what is being given to the people. Because we've seen so many cases of the VACCINE effects, especially to the African children, adults, and all that. So all I'm asking and urging for, as you are outside there and as you catch this show on a replay, if you do wherever you're going to be catching this from, take care and pass this information to your brothers and sisters, because you don't just get to tap into the information, you tap into it and spread the awareness. But much love, family. Asanteni sana once again. Thank you, Keith, for being with me, and thank you to everyone who has been with me on the radio station, on the show page. On the show page, we're live, but we're not live. I can see Keith. You need to pay the network kindly. You need to pay the network. Yeah, we need to go back to the network. So kindly, if you get time to go to the bank or to do whatever you do, ensure you do. But much love. See you guys later on the Black Kings frequency. I wind up with this jam, HR the Messenger, and of course, stay on the radar because it shall be dropping a new jam this Friday. I hope so. And of course, I'm featured on that jam, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
I don't know what the difference between what you want to do.
I'm very, very calm.